Then refresh your mind, your motivation. As I put emphasis and try to cultivate the mind, our study, practice Dharma is not just only for this life's peace and happiness, not just only solve the problem of this life, but our motivation, the mind, we have to have such a profound mind to purify all our mental delusions, to achieve complete enlightenment, Buddhahood, for the benefit of all sentient beings. Oh. And this is, we are studying this very profound teaching. Now, from last Saturday and this morning, as we went through what are the different basis, cause, condition, and identifying, and all the confusions, and the result of these mental afflictions and our actions, what we are wandering in the six realms, and then experiencing all the samsaric experience. So no matter what we do in the samsara, see, we are not out of the boundary of the confusion. We are within in the state of the confusion. So we just reflect on this, contemplate on this. No matter how smart we may be, how creative we may be, until we kindle the light of the wisdom of the Buddha, suffering is next to us. So because of that, cultivate such mind. And then we practice that mind. So that's, as I mentioned, it's not far. It's within you, within us. And so we went through all the steps. As I mentioned, I just only touched the basic, but you study, or contemplate on these. This here mentioned that in this book, mentioned these are very brief, short introduction. Now you can, if you have time, if you have energy, you can go through more, reflect more, what it makes sense or not. You can investigate and then go through this. Okay? So this is the first, what samsara is about. Now next, today here, how this confusion purified. See, now we have to understand how this confusion that we are going through can be purified. How we can get out of this. It's not enough say, I don't want this. It's not enough to say, I don't like this. It's not enough to say, I dislike samsara. Or say, it's not enough to say, I hate the samsara, You see, samsara is not outside. No, samsara is within in our mind frame. Enlightenment also not outside, some out there. It's within in. Sometimes when you say prayers of the Pure Land, Buddha Amitabha Pure Land, is somewhere place to go. Yes, for the relative state, yes, there is some special place you see. But ultimately, just our mind. Because the mind, through the delusion of the mind, we created samsara. Then, through the enlightened mind, we created the enlightenment. See, it's the mind at the end. So, as I mentioned, the mind is very complex, profound. So that kind of, to really understand that is we have to study, contemplate, and put into practice meditation on how to look at how to see your mind. Then we say training the mind means uh, our pure mind is nothing to train. We're training this our mental afflictions, mental confusions, which are the root cause of the samsara. Those are that we are, training. See, yeah. So that uh, now to this we find all the teachings here. But first start with the number one, the method with which to eliminate confusion. Now, step by step, all that you have studied, now it gives you very good understanding, all the steps, you see. There's just one first verse gives us very brief, concise of all the ideas. That any fortunate one who desires release from the great inescapable prison of cyclic existence need to use the following methods. The liberation with that cuts off confusion through the scripture and realization of the sublime Dharma. See, so that we go through all the steps, studying step by step. That here means that what we study, you hear, you read, you try to understand all about this means scripture. And once you have that understanding, you heard of, you understood, and you really wanted to, then contemplation and especially meditation practice. Through that, you'll realize that's called the realization of the sublime Dharma. So scripture of the sublime Dharma and realization of the sublime Dharma. So those two we should understand. Now first, contemplate on the impermanence. For all appearance, these composite interdependency of causes and conditions, all that exists in the world, that in the summer nowadays here, in the West or in the United States, now it's spring and summer now are coming. So because of this, everything's so fresh, flowers, and greens, leaves, everything so fresh, so beautiful. So you see, then in the winter, this all changed into different direction. Snow, cold, you see. So there's everything's changing according to the causes and conditions, you see. So you see, look at these all as impermanence. It changes according to the causes and conditions, you see. And then we human beings, all birth is followed by death. Everyone who is born in the world now eventually will die. But we don't know when. There's so many instances the death comes from many different ways. Somebody in the war, they're killed. Sometimes the people eat too much and they die. And sometimes people don't have anything to eat, they die. know. So there are so many different things. Some they die when they get sick. Some die when they get old. Some die without being sick and getting old. So, so look, everything's indefinite. We try to plan. Today I will do this. Tomorrow I will do this. Next year I will do this. Next 5 years I have this. We plan all the way. Something like we'll live here forever. But actually we don't know how long we'll live. But anyhow, at the end, we'll go. So what that is not being a negative, as I mentioned before also. It's just being realistic. And since we have the Dharma, the wisdom of the Buddha, um, so there's a better way to die. No, utilizing, as mentioned, this precious human life, and then die best way, die joyfully. I got precious human life. I studied the Dharma, and I practiced the Dharma. Now bodhicitta is in my heart. I realize the Mahamudra, the bodhicitta. Now I have no fear to die. Also die joyfully. This is the best, the practitioner. No. And at least no regret. I die. I have no regret. I did all my things what I could. So I have precious human life. I did this. So like this. So, what about that? All meeting by partings. Then we meet in our life. One day we have to separate. We meet friends. We meet, in the uh, town hall. We meet at the airport. Look at the airport. We meet so many people, and everyone is going their separate their own way. So all meeting by parting, all accumulation by um, depletions, all just consumed by itself, and all improvement by dissipations, all that we built. Oh, we built so much road, aeroplane, railway, cars, buses, buildings, all these technologies we built. Then we have to update all the time. Otherwise, they go old, they die, they just disappear, cease to exist. So this all is sign of the impermanence. Everything's changing. Look at this. So if you have Dharma practice, no matter how much it changes, doesn't matter. Changing is nature of the impermanence. It will. So, but it will remind that, and then reminding that the best way to remind is to practice Dharma. Realizing everything's just as illusory nature. Everything's just a reflection. Look at this and meditate on this. Then what it helps? It helps to reduce our ego. When our ego is more reduced, then attachment will be reduced. Aversion will reduce. When these three poisons are reduced, then the mind has great peace. See, there's a great joy. That's the purpose of, Instead of instead of being depressed, but you are so inspired. Dharma practice, precious, cannot replace by anything. As I mentioned repeatedly, Material-wise, Milarepa possessed nothing, but he was so joyful always. He was so happy. As I mentioned, he sings the songs. If you look at my body, skeletons, even the enemy sees the tears will build in their eyes. But if Buddha sees my mind, Buddha will be delighted, because the Dharma, so precious, cannot be replaced by. So meditate on this, practice loving kindness, compassion, bodhicitta, this you see. So do not be attached to this life. Contemplate its impermanence. So don't attach to this life. Doesn't mean don't care. We spend so much time just to how to make this life, how to look ourselves. And then you see, you cannot, always we fail. We try every time and we fail. So just eat what need to be eat to sustain the life. Wear clothes, place, then appreciate, rejoice, and focus on the Dhamma practice. How my mind should be touched with the Dharma. So as I mentioned, Milarepa, he has only one clay pot to cook his nettle. So one day he moved from one place to another. The roads were very rough. Actually, there's no road, It's high in the mountain. So he moved from one cave to another cave. So on the way, he held the clay pot, the pot in his hand, So he held, and then he walked, and he stepped on a piece of rock, and he fell down and broke that pot there. And that moment, Milarepa just experienced such a fresh reminding of the impermanence. What this means about the impermanence, So fresh, you see, because he's carrying that clay pot, where he cooks the nettle. So when he moved to another cave, he need that cave, and then he need that pot to cook the nettles, So here there's a sense of this is my clay pot, where I cook nettles. But at that moment, when the clay pot is broke, went into pieces, and they saw that his concept of this my clay pot, he realized that it's not his. And that was great teaching that he received. I thought this is my clay pot where I cook the nettle, but it's no longer mine. It's broke here, it's broke here. And nothing is belong to you. You may have a beautiful, expensive house, but when the day when you have to go, you have to leave behind. So it's not yours. So this is my body. I cherish my body. But when you have to leave, it's not your body. You have to leave behind. So he realized directly, so fresh. He said, this is my great teacher. I am so grateful to receive this precious Dharma. He said, this symbolizes all the composite phenomena particularly this precious human life. I'm so grateful that today I received such a precious Dharma teaching. This is my root guru, who introduced me this direct instruction of the impermanence. See, he was not worrying now where he can get the next part, the clay part. He was just appreciating, rejoicing that, you see, this is such an important point. If for us, if that happens, we'll cry, I'm so unfortunate. I have only one clay pot is now broke. Now what should I do? How I have to live my life. We're just worrying. He says, what should I do now? Now I lost all my wall. But he was not worrying about that. That's called courage, strength, the nerve. Such a great nerve he has, ability. So just meditate on these things, contemplate on this. These are not negative, these are positive. All the difficult conditions you can turn into positive. All the samsaric things can turn into for enlightenment. So these four, the four foundation. So birth followed by death, meeting by parting, all accumulation by depletion, and all improvement or all that would constructed, built by dissipation, destruction. These are the four foundations. So precious. If one desire to free from samsara, even the Theravadas, for the Theravadas, this is very important. This is the four. And Mahayana, of course. And Vajrayana, more important. Vajrayana, to achieve enlightenment in one single lifetime, we have to have such a strong this contemplation. Sometimes we think in Vajrayana you can do anything. Everything is good, Enjoy your life. That's not Vajrayana. How you can achieve enlightenment in a single lifetime? No. Oh, Vajrayana is very serious, You want to achieve enlightenment in a single lifetime. Have to be very practical. So meditate on this, contemplate on this. Because when you really understood these things, then you see there's a great peace. There's no hope and fear. See? Then you enjoy the Dharma practice. Nothing will take over you. You are fully determined in the Dharma practice. See? So that's why I say there in the Lamrim text, you see so much the Tsongkhapa Lamrim text and the Kusala Shalom and the word of my perfect teaching or teacher, and especially jewel ornament of liberation. This each has their complete one chapter each. How to see everything's impermanence. Jewel ornament of liberation is very wisely described. First, gross impermanent, then more subtle impermanence, then very most subtle impermanence, how to contemplate on this, meditate on this. Oh. So likewise, suffering, all these things described so carefully and beautifully. And next, as I said here, appearances of the past are like a dream, not here now. All the appearances, all the things that, like this morning, or this whatever you are, this afternoon or this evening, all now not exist here now. It's changed. Like it's a dream. No, not here now. Those of the future are like the horn of rabbit. Horn of rabbit. Rabbit has a horn. Rabbit doesn't have a horn. So future is not here. It's like a horn, the rabbit's horn here, you know. It's very good metaphor, you know. It's non-existence, you know. Now this is future? No, it is not future. It's now. No, no. This is passing through, not staying. No. So, uh, hold in your heart. Oh yeah, this is the story. The momentary now is like a ripple on a lake. It's a ripple, just every moment changing. It's not staying here. So look at this. From this, you can realize everything is illusory nature. So, there's no any essence. Just meditate, reflect on this, you see. So hold in your heart the quintessential sublime Dharma. So Dharma is the one that you study, practice. There's no something substantial things to hold on, but the practice of the Dharma means releasing attachment to this, releasing aversion to these things. When you release more attachment to this, release aversion to this, release the grasping our own ego, this, then you see there's such a great peace. That's called Dharma, quintessential Dharma study practice. See? So these are reflecting on the impermanence of all phenomena. So when you realize this impermanence, then you have no time to waste. Can you do this? No, I don't have time. I have to contemplate Dharma. Do I have time to go for a picnic? No, I don't have time. Do I have time to see the movie? So no, I don't have time to see the movie. No. So the all Kadamba masters, they study, practice this. They reflect on the suffering, as we this morning briefly I mentioned a little bit, you know. And the three miserable migration means in the three lower realms, hell realm, how do you goes, and animals, of hell beings, hungry ghosts or hungry spirits, and animals. Beings are powerless to prevent their enslavement and killing. If you look at nowadays, I mentioned before also, look at the chicken farm. you know, poultry farm. They all are just raised to slaughter. You know. Look at that, not just one or two, hundreds and thousands every day. Look at the fish farm. Oh, you see, and they have suffering, but we don't have any consideration. They have suffering. We treat them like a piece of wood, piece of rock. So when you look at the compassion in your heart, no, see such no dire situation. So say, I must do something. I must practice Dharma. If I if I'm born in that kind of conditions, no, I have nothing, no power, powerless, because it's under the mercy of the human hand. Elements and killing. Their suffering is like waves of fire, never ending, suffering one after another. Every day, as I mentioned, how many are killed, butchered for the market. No? Oh my wise one, generate compassion for them. So just look at them, contemplate. Right now, I have no any ability to help. I feel it, but no power. Now I start Dhamma study practice, the wisdom that Buddha taught, the compassion that Buddha taught. I must bring in my heart and practice from today. And then you see in the Shantideva's teaching at the chapter 10, the dedication, you see, as long as this space remains and sentient beings endures, and I will endure my activities to benefit all the sentient beings. May I dispel all the suffering of the sentient beings, you see. So meditate, reflect on this. And then you see your Dhamma practice brings such great joy. This is the way to help sentient beings. Oh, my Dhamma practice means I have to purify all my mental delusions, mental affliction. These mental afflictions are with me from the beginningless time up until now. Because of them, I suffer. Because of them, all sentient beings in the samsara suffer. There's no any other reason to suffer. Only we are suffering because of this mental affliction. I physically age, get sick, finally die, but they don't get sick. They don't get old. They don't die. Only the Dharma practice, if I practice, will help me to age them, to get rid of them, realize them that they are not exist. If I follow them, if I feed them, they become more strong. They have no wisdom, you see, because they are mental affliction. They have no wisdom. They have no compassion. Only cause their responsibility is to bring suffering to us and other sentient beings. So Dharma is the only way to uproot them. See, so that you see, it will come later, The three training, as I mentioned the other days, the training of the morality, the moral conduct, the training of the samadhi, meditative concentration, the training of the prajna, special insight. Through these three training can only uproot them, purify them. No, these are the direct counteract. You see, so I must now follow this path, meditation. See, in the higher realm, you see, tossed violently by the waves to birth, old age, sickness, and death. So all human beings, those who are rich, those who are powerful people, those who are very high educated, and those who know nothing, we all are equally tossed violently by these four. No. You see, when you get old, now you see, we are incapable of seeing, reading books, difficult to hear. We need eyeglasses. We need hearing aid, you know. Then we need danger. And you see, all this we need, you see. It's painful, Then it's difficult to get up from your cushion, difficult to sit down. It gives pain your knees, back. Difficult to turn around easily. You become more clumsy. Then when you get older and older and older, then very difficult. I can see now. It's not just history. It's not real, alive. And when you get sick, you see, if we have Dharma, we age, but age with less suffering. We get sick, but we get sick with less suffering. We can accept this. Not only that, this experience will give us greater support for understanding of the practice of loving kindness, compassion, and bodhicitta. You see, then you can understand more about the emptiness. When you are being young, very healthy, talented, all this now empty when you get old. They are not exist now. See, so this is the wisdom of the Dharma. Then it slowly it helps us to understand everything is illusory nature. It just takes care of our mental burden so much. It's only the Dharma can help us. And the modern technology, science and technology, there's a lot of things created, a lot of drugs, painkillers, there's so many. But you know how really helpful they are. In some ways, maybe good, but but will not help us totally to free ourselves from the suffering. The Dharma, can help us. So that in the ocean of samsara, with no bottom or shore, desiring happiness but craving the cause of suffering. See, where we desire for peace, happiness, then we're craving the causes of suffering. We're so got used to this craving the cause of suffering. It's become so natural. And when we engage it, and the suffering is there. We never learn the lesson. So Dharma, the wisdom of the Buddha, gives us this kind of wisdom to wake up, ourselves. Yeah. Oh, how weary are the sentient beings who have no protector. In the world, you see, there's no protector. Everybody's working so hard, but there's no real leader. How to get out of this vicious cycle of the samsara? No. All sentient beings are relentless in this confusion state and create all the cause of suffering and go through all this. It's so vicious cycle. Look at this. So these are first very important. Without this contemplation on this, our Dharma practice will not be so productive, not strong. When we contemplate well, meditate enough on this, and make sure that you really understood that it makes sense to practice Dharma. Of course, those who don't have Dharma study practice, then talking about these things are no benefit. It only makes more suffering. So no, who is better not reflect on this. Just temporarily, just live your life more peaceful. But since we have the Dharma, most profound, will entirely reveal our mind. So we need to reflect on this, meditate on this. Yes, I understood the sufferings of the samsara, how we are in the samsara. No, now this is the most important point. See, then causality of the suffering, samsara. None of us can prevent the result of the preceding causes and conditions. You see, that karma we have created, the cause we have created, preceding, created, nobody can prevent now. Even Buddha. So when you know the story of Mongolia, the Buddha's on left, the monk, Shariputra on the right, and the Mongolia is on the left, standing. He was the most powerful who can demonstrate the miracle power. But when time comes, then he met some non-Buddhist monks, and they were so upset with the Mongolia, and Mongolia, they beaten Mongolia, and beaten with a what you call stick, and his bone and flesh all just made like a mud. He was actually like a dead, And the news went around, and all Buddhist monks heard of this. They were so discouraged. Mongolia, who has that kind of great ability to demonstrate miracle powers, what went, what happened? No. Could you do any something? You couldn't you do anything? Mongolia said, "Oh, when karma comes, I could do nothing." And then all the monks went to Buddha. So what happened? No, we're all disappointed, discouraged. No, couldn't he just say, even though maybe he couldn't kind of say challenge with those people. But at least he could fly himself to escape. Buddha said, when the karma comes, nobody can do anything. You say, no. Buddha was there. So then Buddha told the story, how that happened. Many, 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 many lifetimes ago, these things happened. So that continued. So Buddha said, this is the last now. He has to experience. And also, there was a monk at the time of Buddha, Guchung is called. Thus he was born in very poor family, very poor family. And then he barely survived, you know, from childhood, teenage. And when he, in the early 20s, then he met Buddha and he asked Buddha, can I, become a monk? Buddha said, of course, sure, you can come. So he was so happy. But he barely survived, all the time, barely survived. Then Buddha taught all the teachings, but he was so weak to meditate. But he was cleaning a hall, meeting hall. Then Buddha, you know, go for alms, for food. So somebody made a big offering to Buddha. So Buddha had how much he need to. And left over, he brought gift to that monk. And he got that, and he ate fully, and he built strength physically. And he meditated there with this three training, you see, the morality, Shila, and good shamatha, such a powerful shamatha. And then special insight. Because of that, he achieved arhat. Oh, he attained arhat, you see, free from samsara. But then, see, after that, yeah, for a few days, he barely survived food. Again, even he achieved arhat. Yeah, then after a few days, he didn't get food. Then Buddha's disciple Shariputra brought food. Ananda brought food. Like this, one after another. Always missed. You Then one time Shariputra really brought the food and would taking care of all these obstacles and make sure he get the food. And then that the last day, his mouth was sealed. No chance to eat food. So when the time over, you open the mouth. Then Shariputra said, now what should I do? He said, nothing. you can do. So then, just he said, I'm hungry. Can you give me a bowl of water? And Shri Buddha brought a bowl of water to offer him. And then this the spirits around brought a handful of dust, throw in the water, you know. So he had, of course, no choice. He drank that and he died. At the time of death, he can demonstrate all the miracle powers. He can fly in the sky, all this. And all the monks were so, what you call it, disappointed, surprised, amazing, what do you call it? No. And they went to Buddha. Wow, what happened? Who achieved the arahat and died without food? How that can happen? Buddha said, it's karma. So we have to be very careful of our karma. So Buddha told the story what he did in the past. Said many lifetimes ago, he was born in a rich family. And then his father was a merchant, collect a lot of wealth. And then his mother was very generous. One time father died. Mother continued being generous, offering to others. And he was as a child. Then he told mother, no, our father is not here. Nobody can make wealth. Don't give so much. No. If you finish all this, what we should do? But mother continued giving. No. Then the son tried everything to prevent mother to do these things. He couldn't. So he put in mother in the prison. No. So you can't do this. Do you want to destroy our house? The mother said, no, I will not do now. I will not do. But he was so upset. Put in the prison for, for, for 7 days. No food, no drink. And the last day, he just gave her a cup of water with the dust. Drink this now. You deserve this, Then she drank and died. So this is the karma. It's paid. You see, when the karma comes, no matter how great teacher may be, we have to accept and just pay off, purify the karma. So this is what karma is talking about. So we all have to pay attention. These are very important. Milarepa also said, you see, the details of the karma is more difficult to understand than emptiness. Oh. Emptiness through analysis, like quantum physics, you can get some sense what means emptiness. But karma, to understand all the details, we need Buddha's omniscient wisdom. So we have to be very careful about the karma. At least, like, see, avoid the 10 non-virtues and engage the 10 virtues. See, from there, those 10 non-virtue to avoid, 10 virtue to practice, Buddha put together. For us, we can understand more precisely to try those. Then from there, all the details. Actually, all the karmas you can find in the Vinaya system. Ah. So none of us, you see, prevent the result of the preceding causes and the conditions. They are infallible for us all, everybody. You cannot say, I don't believe karma. It's your choice, believe or don't believe. But karma is with you. Or some to say, no, the karma is not my business. Karma just follow like a shadow. No, the bird flies from the lifts from the ground, and then flies in the sky. You don't see the shadow. As soon as the bird lands other side, the shadow is with that. So karma is follow like that. So, oh no, this is such a precious teachings. Furthermore, there is movement cycle causalities every second. It's not something previous life, that life, but even this, every moment, every second, you see. Look at your mind. Just first you get a glimpse of loving kindness, you see there's a peace. Compassion, you see, there's a peace. Or absence of the three poisons, there's a peace. And then in that same moment, there's anger pops in the mind. It gives you pain in the heart. No? It's a momentary karma. So it's moment to moment, moment to moment. So this is very obvious. Hmm. As soon as when your mind is disturbed by these negative thoughts, you change your face. Hmm. Change your voice. So it's called moment cycle causality. The arising of variegated Samsara and Nirvana as the self-expression of virtue, non-virtue. So Samsara is expression of the non-virtue. Nirvana is expression of the virtue. So let's mention, look at in your heart, in your mind. The mind, as mentioned this morning, when your mind is clear, contrite, no, unconfined, relaxed, you see, mind is so peaceful. In the absence of these non-virtues, that is the expression of nirvana. When our mind is flooded with all these negative thoughts, anger, attachment, envy, jealous, all these things, and it disturbs your mind, and then you kill others, because when your mind is disturbed, then you don't hesitate to kill others. It's the expression of the samsara. No. So you see, reflect on this, meditate on this, you see. That how Buddha taught all the causalities, how they work. These are such precious. Lord Jidasungwa said, this is called preliminary, preliminary. The preliminaries are the more important than actual practice. In the absence of cause, the result is total here. If there's no cause, then is there totals fur? Is there fur total? Total has fur, fur. No, isn't it? Total has no fur. you know. Since when there's no cause, result is not exist. When we don't have the cause for enlightenment, no matter how much you say, may I achieve enlightenment, so we have to create the cause for enlightenment. We, on the base on this, take refuge in the Buddha Dharma Sangha and cultivate love and compassion and cultivate bodhicitta and exercise the six parameters, then there's a cause for enlightenment. Truthful. This is a very good analogy. So look at the analogy and contemplate. See, all possible happiness and suffering arise from virtuous and non-virtuous causes and conditions. This is the mode of abiding of all phenomena. The mode of abiding of all phenomena. This is the basic foundation, basic phenomena, nature. Whether you believe or not believe, whether you understood or not understood, doesn't matter. This is how they work. If there's a fire, whether you understood this fire or not, whether you believe or not the fire, as soon as you touch, it will burn you. Intelligent one, pay close attention to causality. So those who are very smart, very gifted mind, very important to pay attention to causality. Yeah. So make understanding of these things. This also say Four Noble Truths, when Buddha taught first time, the Four Noble Truth, suffering. Buddha said you should know the suffering and then avoid the cause of suffering. See, when you understood this causality of the samsara, then you get awaken your mind. What should I do to free from samsara? To free from the suffering? What should I do? Then first, you take refuge. To cut off confusion, take refuge from the bottom of your heart. Because now you understood the causality of the samsara. Now to free from the samsara, to cut all the suffering and special causes of suffering. Now I take refuge in the Buddha. And I take refuge in the Buddha Dharma Sangha. See, in the perfect Buddha, the one who knows directly and precisely all dharmas, gross, subtle, and hidden. See, dharma is knowledge, wisdom, to know all dharma. Gross first, gross level, then more subtle level, then hidden. So gross means obvious, clearly understand, you understand these things. Then hidden means you have to investigate, like debate, investigate more subtle. Then when you come to the point, your even investigation cannot reach. It's called hidden. To that you have to meditate, contemplate, make your mind very calm, clear, peaceful. So from then you, because your mind is so fine, so established, then from there you can see the subtlety of the all phenomena. No? So see, gross, subtle, and hidden. So in the sublime dharma of the scripture and realization, as earlier mentioned, and in the Sangha of Aryas, you take refuge to the Buddha, Dharma, Sangha. So this relative state of taking refuge, Buddha, Dharma, Sangha, Milarepa said, Buddha, Dharma, Sangha are the outer refuge. I took refuge in them and I got the satisfaction by this practice. You also take refuge in the Buddha, Dharma, Sangha. So through this exercise, practices, then you go deeper of the taking refuge. The next is said, Dhammakaya, co-emergent luminosity, that's the Buddha. Buddha, ultimate Buddha is Buddha Dhammakaya. Dhammakaya has no form, just total wisdom of the Buddha, co-emergent luminosity, the wisdom. Sublime Dharma, the ultimate Dharma, is free of production, which is cessation, free of cessation, free of elaboration. Free of production is no any samsaric activities there. Total wisdom of the Buddha. And cessation, you cease to exist, all the suffering of samsara, free from all the cause of suffering, and free of a liberation mission, free from all the liberation. So this is the ultimate Buddha, Dharma, Sangha. You take refuge in them. The Buddha, Dharma, so Dharma. Sangha here, and the Sangha of Aryas, beyond coming and going. Sangha of the like Chandresi, Manjushri, Vacharpani, like those, Tara, achieved 10 Bhumi. So those are beyond the coming and going, birth. Embodying them all is the ultimate refuge. One's own empty, luminous mind. So your mind, free from all the delusions. That's the Dhammakaya. And that's the Dharma. That's the Sangha. The ultimate refuge. The enlightenment is within us, not outside. So meditate on this practice, this refuge. So one great master said, Lama, teacher, guru. First, we attend the outer guru. You receive teachings from him or her. You study, you contemplate, you get all the instructions, and you meditate, you see. Then after you well understood those teachings, the second guru is then your text, Dharma text. You read all those things because you have the wisdom. When you read, you get all the meaning from this. So that's your guru, see. Then at the end, your mind is the guru. Then you study, you practice yourself. You meditate. then you can help all others. So this same, you see, uh, in the Uttara Tantra Shastra mentioned, 담배 돈돈 좋아해. 짬내 산재 냐시티. 두번 처지 고진죠. 소자디 털두치르스. In the ultimate refuge, the refuge of the sentient being is the Buddha, the sage. The Buddha is the embodiment of the Dharma. The Buddha is the perfection of the Sangha. So Buddha is the ultimate Dharmakaya. That's the Buddha. That's the Dharma. That's the Sangha. Oh. We as ordinary have not realized yet. We just see outside the blue Buddha, say this is Dharmakaya Buddha, Sambhogakaya, Dharmakaya. Then reality nature, then it comes to your heart, your mind. Your Buddha nature is the ultimate Buddha refuge. So when you meditate this way, practice this way, you dare not make mistake, Be careful, So you have to develop courage yourself. All the steps we take. Meditate. No. See, that's what's called Dharma is profound. We call Dharma is profound because your mind is profound. But to understand this, to practice this, we need courage. See, we need some kind of called indomitable courage, like a mountain, like the Vajra mountain, non-destructible. Nobody can destroy it. Looks difficult, but it is within us. If you have the nerve. I'm talking right? Ah. Now, teacher. There are so many teachers, but we need really good teacher. So here, what is said here. Teacher, compassionate hands. The hand, metaphor as a compassion, holding a hook of loving kindness, face of bodhicitta, emblazoned with the measure and manner marks, adorned, matured from energetic engagement with scripture and realization, and skilled in means, respectfully adhere to this kind of spiritual master. It's very nicely made a good metaphor, isn't it? In other words, the teacher, no, we were called root teacher. A root teacher, first of all, you say, were well established in the study and understanding of all scriptures, Buddha's teachings, has a great wisdom to share. And then hope realization, this realize in the mind of the teacher. Then with that, the teacher should be embodied with the loving kindness and compassion to others, to share. You know? See, it's not just a title. Nowadays, you can get title easily. You know? Like in my time, when I graduated from Varanasi in 1976, so there's very few Khenpos. And so there, anyway, after I graduated from the university, and I was asked to come to a small monastery, and I accepted. There were not so many monks either, maybe 10, 15 monks there. So I taught how to read, writings, basic things, and they started calling me that I got the title from the university. I got title Acharya, you know. So then they started calling me Khenpo, you know. Khenpo says, I said, don't call me Khenpo, you know. So Khenpo has its own some special qualities, not just to get some knowledge of reading, writing books, you know, but there's some personalities is involved. So I told them, you know, you just call me teacher, you know, because I teach these things. So later they started, you know, calling me in Tibet it's a Kela, you know, teacher, you know. But nowadays there are so many Khenpos now, so many Geshes, so many Khenpos. Oh no, also many Khenchens. But titles are not important. Important for oneself to get some, if you want to apply for a job, you know, if official jobs, if you want to get some, you know, some job for work, you know, then yes, I have this Khenpo title, this Khenchen title. Can you give me a job? This. Maybe you can get that. But for the Dharma study practice, especially to free from samsara, it's not easy. No, it's not something that I like him or I like her, you know. Personality, the individuals who need these special type, these qualities. One who is imbued these great qualities, study, understanding wisdom, and practice, experience those is so precious, you know, so important. Nowadays, if you get some title, oh, he or she got this title, oh, so wonderful, this wonderful. Oh, of course, oh, it's good, you know, it's good. But to free from samsara is not easy, you see. First of all, you have to take care of our These all mental confusion. We are bewildered in the samsara. To cut that off is not so easy business, you know. It needs a lot of work, you know, a lot of dedications. So this is what is talking about here. You have heard of Kuno Lama Rinpoche, you know. He didn't have any title, first of all, you know. He didn't claim he was a great teacher, you know. But when he was old, then people come ask him to teach this. You know what he knows, he to teach. He teach, say this is what. So most of he said, "Oh, I studied this, but I forgot." You know, these are not so clear. So then somebody says, "I'm old now. What I'm thinking, what's coming in my mouth, something's confused." You know, but you have to insist him to teach. Once he accepts the teaching, you know, then it's exceptional. So once he taught, he will never say, I'm your guru, you know, you get out of here. Go your on your way, you know. So precious nowadays when you reflect on this, you know. Such a precious, you know. So like those kind of teachers, every individual has their own, of course, personalities, the students, the teachers all have. But anyhow, this is mentioned. First, you have good knowledge of study, scriptures, and meditation practice experience, and endowed with the loving kindness, compassion, you know, see, so follow to those kind of great teachers. Not some very impressive, some individuals. Mhm. Okay, it's hour and a half. Do you need some break? Short break? Make a short break, okay? Om Bansa Sato Samaya Mano Palaya Bandra Sato Tenopa Tita Bawa Sutu Kaya Mem Subu Kaya Membawa Anorata Membawa Sarva Siddhi Me Prayata Sarva Karma Kuru Hong Ha 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 Hom Sarva Tatanga Tambandra Mame Manzamban Zemba Ma Samaya Sato